early entrepreneurs, you're going to get stuck in like how much money is in your bank, right?
You think you're making money, and when you look at it, it's like, holy
and
crap.
I've learned that firsthand.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it, because it's like, oh, we got money, but like you really need to be being strategic of like.
So what's going on, everybody? So today's guest, we have Michael Spangenberg.
Nailed it. Yep.
I nailed it?
Yeah.
Man, welcome to the show. You're the owner and founder of State 48.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Thanks for having me.
Man, it's a pleasure. You're doing big things.
Trying, man. Hey. 10 years and we're still just getting started.
And I'm new to the brand. And so I seen it. I think I was at a D-backs game.
Okay.
And I seen the State 48. I was like, what is that? Then a guy came to our church and he was wearing a State 48. Then I started, like, I was looking you up, and then I seen you put people's logos and you interject their logos. You just get real creative with it.
Yeah, collaboration is a significant part of State 48's business. It wasn't part of the original business plan because we really didn't have any formal business plan to get going. We started out of a spare bedroom slinging shirts, $1,500 to get started, but it turned into so much more of just representing Arizona in a positive and fashionable way, and collaborations, working with other organizations where we can help add value has been probably the best part.
That's so cool. So going back, born and raised in, I believe, Chandler?
Yep, C-Town.
C-Town, okay. So Chandler, Arizona. So you're a kid, and what's a kid look like? Like, what does it look like for you, childhood in Chandler? Were you poor, rich? Were you like just average family?
Definitely average. I mean, we're the old school work ethic, work for everything. I mean, the day I could legally work, I started cleaning dishes at a residence inn by Marriott. I spent 15 years in the hotel industry and worked my way up, becoming GM. My parents are awesome, just great role models, and we just learned, like, if you want something, you got to go. You got to go pay for it, and you got to earn it. So yeah, I definitely wasn't privileged in any way, and I've always wanted to work, and I think that's what's got me through, and that's what got me here today.
Which gets us through anything, right?
Absolutely.
Hard work.
People forget that.
So you're in the hotel industry. Did you so you went to Chandler High? I got some notes here.
Yep.
Scottsdale Community College.
Yep.
Did you graduate from?
I was college dropout.
I
went to Goodman Elementary in Chandler, then Anderson Junior High, then went to Chandler High. Then I was studying hotel restaurant management while I was working full time, so it was always night school. And then I just, after a couple of years, I'm like, this isn't for me, and just started pursuing State 48.
Yeah. So you're in the college world, or not college world, in the hospitality world.
Yep.
Was your parents in that, or you?
No, great question. Yeah, so my mom, same. She grew up in that industry and she became successful in the hotel industry. So I would see her, leaving before I got up, and then getting home when I'm going to bed, and she just worked her ass off. And my dad was an engineer and works for Honeywell still today. But yeah, they just really taught us, how to do things the right way. And so when my stepdad also was in the hotel industry, the hotel he was at, he's like, hey, we have this opportunity to, clean dishes on the weekends. And I'm like, let's do it. And then just kind of working my way up. And I've always loved people. That's what I've tried to implement in State 48 is we really, really care about customer service. Like, it allows us to go above and beyond. Like, we're all in the people business. Like, you genuinely need to show appreciation to everyone. It's no BS. We're as authentic as they come. Mm-hmm. So I've always loved that part. Is I definitely not the smartest dude in the world, but I can control my own destiny of treating people right, and especially in the hospitality industry. We just go above and beyond, and we've just translated that over to State 48. Yeah,
no, it's so cool. I think you're like, you nailed it. So many people today, they think it's just about them.
Yeah.
You see it as the customer. You see the customers that way, and then you also see, say the business owner or whatever, the staff or whatever it may be. But especially today, more so than ever, we have a more selfish type of person that's out there, and it's just because the technology's changed it. You know what I mean? And it's kind of, they're one-on-one with their phone, so everything's about them. So whenever they do something, it's about them. And so it's kudos to you to say, hey, this is all about everyone else.
Yeah, and I'll say too, at the beginning, that's always been our mindset and mentality. But at the beginning too, especially I've always loved clothes. I've always loved fashion, loved business.
I can
tell. Right? I love dressing up. But like, early on, I had two business partners at the time. We started it, just three equal partners, started out of a spare bedroom. And younger, you're stubborn, you know, and you're making, and we were designing, not necessarily designing, but we were doing a lot of things that it was about us. We were making it about us. And like, you know, obviously not all of about us, but we were like, hey, at the end of the day, whoever's supporting you, go all in on that, you know. And you could even struggle with that today of like, especially on design sign, is like trying to satisfy everyone's needs. It's like, hey, if you rock with State 48, you rock with State 48, cool. No hard feelings if you don't. We know we're not for everyone. We're all Arizona pride, but like the ones that do, really pour it into them and just, you know, show your gratitude and design and do everything business wise that's related to your audience. You know, if you know your audience is main audience 25 to 44, this group or that, and then you're designing for someone else, like you're not going to be successful. So that's been some lessons learned along the way too.
Well, what you do know is your audience or your customer loves the State 48. What is
the big man logo,
whatever,
and that's you know, we do so many collaborations, and what that looks like is to say you're a nonprofit or elementary school, hey, you want to create a fun co-branded design. We never like dictate it to be our logo to be predominant. It's just what a lot of people want, because obviously you have a lot of, you know, it's just that pride, but you also have a lot to do it. You can implement a lot of things in there. And that's just, people know what we stand for. It's just, you know, we're good people, good business. And we just, you know, we have a great reputation. We built over 10 years. And that's where it's like mind blowing sometimes, the organizations and the people, you know, even you wanting to interview me, it's just still very humbling and cool to like know that we're making an impact in Arizona.
Oh yeah, you're doing huge. Can you open up your jacket? I just want to see your shirt.
Yeah. So we just
that's super cool.
Yeah, we did a tattoo fundraiser, which is a big thing we do on a regular basis. It was our 6th tattoo fundraiser over the weekend, and this is a shirt we did in collaboration with Tattoo.
How much are those? Like, you still have those shirts for sale?
I don't know if they did. It was part of like registering to get a tattoo. So we do a lot of events like that. So our nonprofit that supports local entrepreneurs, this has actually been a very successful fundraiser, and it's dope. So we do Arizona inspired tattoos for $1.99, and it all benefits State 48 Foundation. So this was a shirt that they created for it.
So you said State 48 Foundation is a nonprofit?
Yep. Yeah. 501c3.
That's your guys' nonprofit?
Yeah. So we started that over 3 years ago.
And so how does that work?
Yeah. So it's probably my most passionate part of the organization now. I mean, I love it all, but like, just because we started with $1,500 collectively between 3 of us and made a lot of mistakes along the way.
Of course.
And I think especially after the pandemic, everyone's kind of, you know, really realized, and I think just that's the cool thing about today's world, is you have so many resources at your fingertips, and you realize life's so short, and you need to really want to pursue something that you're passionate about. And that's really cool, but also realizing you need a community and support around you to help you be successful. And I wish we would have had those resources and connections back then. So essentially we raise money to, you know, give back to local entrepreneurs. We do these big speaker series. We do Beyond Business events where we just provide free education, and we give out grant money. So, all the money gets given out as grants. Yeah,
like school, like college type grants, or what kind of grants?
It's all individual business owners. So, like, you know, for example, like this is our 3rd year of doing our speaker series. It was a 4-week speaker series. It's free. It's in downtown Phoenix, and it was essentially, you bring all these different, you know, marketing experts or business owners and provide that, you know, the storytelling and the practical tips and all that. And then so if you attend 3 out of 4, you apply for a grant, and then we have a whole grant committee. I think we had like 65 applications, and then we just review it, and then we gave out $50,000 this year in grants. So
that's amazing.
In this year we plan on 2024 now, $75,000 is the goal. So everything we're doing is just to pour back into our community and help entrepreneurs be successful, because then ultimately you're creating more jobs, and you're making Arizona a better place to work and live. Yeah.
So basically, if you're a small entrepreneur, you can apply for that grant.
You could be medium sized, busy sized too. Yeah,
you have to just win it somehow. Is there a contest?
It's just an application. So we just really understanding your business, right?
Yeah,
and like
best fit the need, the one with the most need.
And it sucks. Like, that's why ultimately we want to raise even more money, because we want to be able to help more. You know, it sucks like only being able to give out, you know, 50 is a lot. I'm proud of that, but like there's still a lot of great business owners or startups that like need it, and we just don't have enough to give out, right? So that's why we're working hard on the foundation side to grow that and build that community. But yeah, there's a whole review committee, and there's, hey, is this really going to be sustainable? Is this, you know, a great cause that needs support? And they provide like what they need funding for and all that. So we're continuing to improve that process a lot.
Now, are you guys giving a portion of your shirts to that same foundation yet, or not yet?
So like the last 3 years, like anytime you've collaborated with State 48, we've donated $1 per shirt back to it. So I mean, every year we're averaging the for-profit. We were donating about $75,000-$80,000 to the nonprofit to be able. I mean, there's obviously we have 3 paid team members, so a lot of that goes in that. That's part of the programming side. So we've been building it up. So State 48's been obviously we're all one big family, even though we're different entities. So we do a lot of things. We have couple like State 48 Foundation shirts on our website that those proceeds benefit them. So we always do a bunch of random stuff, but for-profit certainly tries to help. We just were able to get our license plate going back in October. So that's dope.
I seen that interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat. I think I want to get one of those.
Yeah, no, hell yeah.
So you sell about 75,000 shirts or?
Oh no, sorry. We just donate on the for-profit side. We've averaged about donating $75,000 of our profits to the foundation.
I was trying to do the math because
I don't know how many t-shirts off the top of my head.
Okay. No, that's so cool. I think giving back is huge. We're doing a lot of stuff. We do a lot of outreach stuff. We give back to homeless. We give back to needy families. I'm launching my nonprofit where I'm going to give back, say a needy family, they need furniture. Say they move from someone's room to their first apartment. Okay, they need furniture. We're going to help them with that. Or they're somehow like some single mom, like she just got back on her feet. Boom, she got 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, whatever it is. They need a car. So that's what I'm working on.
I love that. Yeah. And that's what drives me, man. Like I'm born and raised in Chandler, like I said, and I'm like, that's why I started State 48. I mean, we're the first company ever trademark anything State 48 in Arizona. Now there's 80 plus organizations. I felt like I was that one dude in high school, like actually from Arizona. And I like genuinely, I got almost every Arizona tattoo there is. I just want to make an impact. And like, that's what drives me is like, I want to be successful on the for-profit side because I want to do bigger and better
You need
things.
money to give.
That's the thing. Is like,
you can't give nothing.
Money goes quickly in business. That's definitely, I'm proud that we've grown year over year, but top line revenue doesn't always mean that means every
you got all the expenses. Right?
Yeah,
you got all the expenses.
So it goes out quickly, but I just want to get, that's what motivates me to, help State 48 become more sustainable and grow. And then so we can continue to be who we are and make a difference. And whether it's with our foundation or others, but that's what we're passionate about.
Yeah. I mean, like yourself, I'm born and raised here, out Phoenix, Arizona. Oh, yeah. So I'm 43. So I've seen the evolution of AZ, where it was, where it's been, where it's going, kind of. What do you think about like when you were a kid to today? Some things are changing. The politics are changing. The schools are changing. What are some of your thoughts on this stuff?
Yeah, man. I mean, for the most part, I love it all just because, like, Arizona is always a little hidden gem. And I'm always going to be biased, of course, but just like to see all the businesses coming here and all the people and how diverse. And like now we have like real culture here, like,
I know. Yeah, it's been a while.
Look at downtown Phoenix back in the day. You'd go there for a Suns game or a D-backs game, and that was it. Like, I remember we met our first attorney on a Saturday, and we couldn't even find like a place to get a coffee or, it was hard. Right now it's got the art district. I mean, it's just cool. I mean, and every city has its own vibe to it and all that. So I'm just proud of our growth. And, I certainly try to stay away from all the negativity on the politics side and things, but I just love like seeing how many, businesses and people are coming in here and how diverse. And that's what I love. Like, welcome everyone that comes here. I think being a melting pot is something we should be proud of, but also now it's cool that we actually have generations growing up here that are diehard, sports fans and just care about the community and, staying here for college and keeping their businesses here. So, I mean, really, I'm just more excited than anything.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. 'Cause there's a lot of growth. There's a lot of other things to deal with, but the growth is really good, because like you said, now you have, say for instance, downtown, you have all these little areas, Roosevelt Row, you got all these little areas now where you can go hang out, have a good time.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a good thing where we're headed. So hopefully we can keep it in the right place.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, obviously the growing state presents its challenges, and obviously with the housing market and making sure, I think that's a bigger issue across the world, right? But it's just like now that, it is becoming more expensive, so that makes it tough, right? So there's some challenges, but I just think overall, like, Arizona's the place to be.
Yeah, and I like the way you're headed with your business, because I'm a proponent of capitalism, free market, all those things.
Absolutely.
I love my commandments.
Yeah.
Or my not a commandment, 10 commandments.
Well, you deserve what you get. I mean,
yeah. So I like the fact that, hey, let's start businesses. Let's, or maybe you're not going to start a business, go be a leader.
Yeah.
be a manager, whatever, do your best. Like,
Yeah.
don't just settle.
Yeah. We need, I think it's unfair too. People put, younger generation as bad, bubble. It's like, shit, there's still a lot of like promising youth, a lot of very impressive people. And we have, challenges there, but I just think to your point, it's like, and that's why I love our foundation. Like, you don't have to be an entrepreneur. Like, anyone in business can learn from what we have. I mean, we have, whether it's a local rapper or like a contractor or like teacher. I mean, we have such a diverse like audience, especially for our foundation, like the speaker series, education. Like, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to gain some knowledge from this, right? So it's like, or just, it's okay. Like, have a side hustle or whatever the hell makes you happy, but to your point, I think even like a big partner of ours is a Girl Scouts organization. And even this past weekend we had, where there's like a cookie fast pitch where you work with these young girls that kind of help them boost their confidence and like hear their pitches of cookies, and you think of Girl Scouts or of just like, oh, just the cookies, right? And they teach so much young girls like all these life skills, and that's where like we need to do more of that in today's world to prepare them for like, hey, you still got to work your ass off, and you got to just do things the right way. And to your point, I think we are all responsible to like kind of create future leaders.
Yeah, no, I think we're totally responsible. It's I mean, if you want the world to be a better place, then it starts with you and I.
Yeah. You can't sit on the couch and be like, oh, complain about it. Yeah, amen. That's like my worst pet peeve. Excuses or like, just work for it.
I was so I follow politics, so I'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was looking at something with Ron DeSantis, how he dropped out of the race, and I'm reading all these people just type comments, and they're just talking all kinds of crap. And I'm like, you guys are not doing nothing but sitting on your freaking.
Oh, that's the worst.
You're sitting on your couch doing nothing.
I've become more passionate about more policies, but it's just
policies.
It's crazy, man. Like, even in watching, no matter what side of the fence you're on, like, we should just be able to have civil conversations, disagree on stuff, and that's okay. And that's how you get educated. But even like you talk about being responsible leaders, like, not to put everyone in a bubble, but you turn on whether it's CNN or Fox News, you got grown men and women just like talking crap about like, it's crap. Like, what kind of role model are you? Like, just talk about the policies of the politics, not like it's policies, like creating, and that's where then, people growing up think that's what you all do, just talk crap to each, it's like so much negativity. But to your point, it's like there's so many people that just complain and give opinions, and like
they're not doing nothing.
But it's like, do something about it if it bothers you, like. If not, like, then don't expect change, right?
Yeah, I always tell people, be the change others are looking for.
Yeah.
Like, quit complaining, quit bashing someone. It's
so easy for people just to complain while my life's tough. And it's like, yeah, we all go through it. No one's, everyone kind of has the same challenges, but like the ones that are going to be successful and happy are the ones that are going to do something about it.
And if you're not, like, it's like someone saying, oh, State 48 sucks and their shirts suck, whatever. They're only the state flag. What are you doing?
Yeah.
If you're not in the game, like,
and to that point too, I know there's an I know we're not for everyone, right? People don't all want just big graphic, and we evolve and offer new designs and such, which I'm proud of, become a little bit more fashion forward, but you can't alienate who your audience is, right? Yeah. So if I know our proud Arizonans want that, and then we're designing this way, I'm like, no hard feelings if you don't rock with us, but it's not bad business not to like, go all in on just who we are. And that's just supporting the community.
Well, you're not state California.
Yeah, definitely not. Easy all day.
You feel as you've, gone more into this role as, an entrepreneur, you've been an entrepreneur, but, you're getting bigger and better, you're learning more. Do you feel like you look at life differently?
Oh, man.
Compared to, say, when you were younger or whatever like
Absolutely.
that?
Even just like these last, even these last 40 days have been super humbling. Just with, I had some like back issues, and I'm like, man, even not being able to walk right, I'm finally getting healthier there. But even just really diving into finances, I'm like, man, your money goes out quick. And like, so it's just like, business is always humbling. And like, even at 38, every day, like in this year, I feel like I just want to simplify things. I just want to declutter my life and just, my house and everything. And just like, I'm just like, so much more like at peace of what makes me happy, and that's working. I love working, and a little travel here and there, and I just like really just like taking a step back and like just simplifying everything, right? But I just want to continue. But yeah, it is cool to see yourself evolve. I've had the most professional personal development in the last year, just with the circle I've surrounded myself with, the investment I've, made into that, cause that takes a lot of learning. Right. So I'm in a CEO coaching group, but anyway, like it's really cool to just see like, even personally what was important to me a couple of years ago. And it's all just part of life. Right. But I'm just like super happy and at ease of just being like, I just want to make State 48 more successful and more sustainable, and just like just simplifying things, whether it's your circle or your business, or not trying to do a million things. You hear everyone trying to be better at saying no, all that kind of stuff. I've always been like, yes, because I'm always up for opportunities and want to grow the brand, but just being smarter about time and business.
Well, and I think, like you said, you're getting the coaching. That's crucial for your next level moves.
Absolutely.
I think we all got to keep learning and growing. I'm in masterminds. I'm getting coached. I'm got a mentor. Like, I'm trying to learn from everybody, whoever's doing something, because we have to. I want to be better today than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I definitely, and anyone can take this the wrong way, but I want to be better than the guy next to me.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm a competitor. I'm a sports
that's
fan,
just what it is.
Athlete,
I want to have the best for my family. I have children, wife, stuff like that. I know you're not married, but that's how I am. Like, I want the best for my team. I want them to have the best tools or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and kudos to you, because, anyone with a family, and my brother has 3 kids, and I go over there and I'm like, man,
it's a lot of work.
I have so much respect for parents, and I'm like, I can't even keep up with emails, but like, it's just all what matters. But to your point, like, I'm motivated. I don't want anyone passing us up. I don't want to, I want to just be that much better personally and professionally. And to your point too, I'm becoming much more selfless. Not that I've never really been selfish, but like, I do want to make sure the team is growing and be able to pour it. That's what gets me going, be able to hire more people in a team of 24 and growing. And like, I was like, shit, when we think about starting out of a spare bedroom, it was like a dream just to even think about going full-time State 48. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. We started in our living room too, like you. Yeah. And what you said something was, when you're like, hey, everyone says, start saying no. And I think that's where young entrepreneurs get confused, because they do, a good young kid or even older adult that's young in entrepreneurship or, business ownership, is, they start to learn, right? But then they start to hear all kinds of different narratives, right? And they sometimes, I believe, you can get the wrong narrative because you're getting it from someone at a different level. Right?
100%.
Because like you said, I was the same way. I said yes to everything. And I just wanted to work. And I was like, I want to grow as fast as we can, make as much money as we can, buy as many things, not things, but like tools. Like, we got 2 buildings, like this kind of stuff. And so we have to, so if you're listening, and you're a young entrepreneur, you have to establish where you're at and your walk and your pace and your journey to know what decision to make,
Facts.
So you almost got to compare. So like, say you're watching an Ed Milet, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you want like the younger version of Ed Milet because you're the younger version. You don't want his expertise advice, which is going to be a higher level. You're not even ready for it. Can you get it and gain it? Yes. Do you want it? Yes. But you're not ready for it.
Yeah. And I think one thing I'm certainly guilty of like comparing my business to yours or others, right? Like, I'm in this CEO coaching group, which I've love the humans, have become great friends even the year. But I mean, I'm probably the smallest size business out of the group. Mm-hmm. And I'm, at the beginning it was very overwhelming. Like, I'm like, wow, you're so much smarter. You're so much more successful. And it's like, then you really get to know them. We all add value to each other. But like a retail business is much different than construction and this and like, margins or, but I think we all can just like try to compare, and that could really, hurt us. And to your point, I love what you said too. It's like, you do have to kind of apples to apples. Like, you don't compare yourself to Ed Milet or if you're just starting or something. And I think a lot of people too, I always say this all the time. And I think a big responsibility of us on the foundation side is like letting people know that like the perception of entrepreneurship is you're going to go get a Lambo the first year and you're just like going to take vacation everywhere. And that's like still like funny when everyone's like, well, you just, you own the business, just go travel wherever you want. I'm like, it's not that easy. I mean, in our size of business, like I hope to, strive to be that successful one day. But I think it's like really educating people that like, it's a grind. You got to sacrifice a lot. I'm sure your family's like got to be supportive as crap because they know, hey, if you have to stay till 9 p.m. at night, you're going to stay till 9 p.m. at night. Like people and you better love it. And that's what I think is even the most important is like, I freaking love what I do. If I didn't, like, you're not going to work as hard. And if you're just doing it for the money, like do something else because, you know, I think I'm big on like, there's got to be a purpose. There's got to be a passion behind it.
Yeah. That's for a lot of people, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Like the easiest thing to do is just get a purpose. Like, you know, get that passion going. You know, obviously some people make money. Some people do get that Lambo for sure, but that's like, that's very,
kudos. I mean,
very seldom.
I know that happens.
I don't have a Lambo.
And
I've been in business over 15 years or something. I don't even know. It's 09, whatever it is.
I mean, and everyone's entitled to their rich life too, right? I think a lot of people judge too much of like, hey, if I'm bougie with hotels or travel, then that's what I love. But I don't have a family to support, and if I want to spend my money on that or shoes or whatever. But I think too many people in this world, we just all judge or like compare, and it's like just do whatever the hell makes you happy, you know. And also I think it's important to like whether you're like, I think people are too hard on themselves of like, you know, 30, 40, like you can figure out your purpose at 60, you know, like it's never too late, you know, or to do something you love. But I think especially younger, like I don't know what I'm going to do yet in life. You know, I've talked to early 20s and they're like, oh, I'm stressed and overwhelmed and have anxiety and mental illness because I haven't figured out life yet. I'm like, I haven't figured out life yet. None of us have, you know, for the most part.
It changes, you know, and you start to realize like, hey, I can do more. I can, like you're just doing the foundation, right? Like this whole thing can evolve to a big old foundation, whatever it is, right? And I think you evolve. If we're learning, like even myself, you know, I started in the commercial drywall industry when I was 17, 1998, right? And so now here I am, been in business 14, 15 years, whatever it is, and I'm evolving into something different. You know, like, okay, now I think I want to do something else with this, with that. You know, you start thinking bigger because as we're exposed to more, and if you expose yourself to more, then you like the thought process just gradually and naturally starts to think bigger. Okay, I can have this. I can stay in a nice hotel. I just got to work a little harder, right? I can do this. I can start this business, or I can go here, or I want to help this person, whatever that is, right? And so I think we have to challenge ourselves as people and as entrepreneurs. Like again, let's do more. Let's be more. Let's want more.
And you kind of force your hand too. I mean, you know, now we're gonna have a 4th retail store. I'm all personal guarantee and all of it. I'm all in, right? Like I can't, like there's no going back.
That's amazing,
right?
Yeah.
Like so, I think that's certainly important to just be like, just realize like, and that's why I'm so passionate about our foundation too. Like even I had last week, our group had a 3-hour strategy meeting of tax prep from a tax professional, tax strategist, and I'm like, oh my, mind blown. Even a guy that's going to exit his business, you know, at a very high amount, like he's learning things that, you know, at an older age that I like wish I would have known. So I'm like, that's what I love about like, and that's what's cool when people are seeking my advice. I'm like, it's kind of humbling, but also rewarding to know like, oh yeah, and because I've gone through this all now, I can actually give you the advice where I help, don't make this mistake, or like set yourself up like for more, you know, wealth, even personal, professional early on. If you did, you know, I wish I would have done a lot of things differently, but that's what's cool about like pouring it back into the community and helping them win. Yeah.
Especially like you can help people in the retail space, you know, because I mean, you're in your 4th store. It's not easy.
Not at all.
One, you're probably so scared with the first one. I would have been. You know, now you're 4 later.
Yeah. And now I want more because like we've figured that out though, because I remember even our first, you know, channel, oh my God, like 1,100 square foot, you know, office space. And we turned around, that was scary. And then like the Phoenix, you know, at the downtown Phoenix, our Churchill location, we had our shipping container there. And I was like, oh, that was scary. Everything was scary. And then you get past it, you're like, oh, okay, like next, what's next, right? So now it's kind of like our growth strategy is kind of rinse and repeat. You know, obviously growing our revenue streams because we are a one-stop shop for all apparel and design. So we can provide screen printing services, we can do co-branded, we have our retail, but retail's hard. But yeah, it's a kind of our growth strategy is open more profitable locations in different cities, right? We're North Phoenix, downtown Gilbert, Chandler. You know, could we go to Queen Creek? Do we go to Tucson? I mean, there's so much room to even grow in Arizona.
Yeah, I was telling you, my son does the shoes, and I think he wants to open a retail space. I was telling him, I'll help you. But I don't know anything about retail. I've never worked in a store.
Yeah.
So I just know how to go to the cash register.
Yeah, right.
And buy something.
And it's tough. Like I'm a big fan of like retail. Especially during pandemic, everyone's like, "Oh, retail's dead." It's like, no, people still want to touch it, feel it. And then for us, like we want to provide exceptional service. Like we had even Daisy. I'll tell a quick stories. Daisy in high school, and she's a rock star. Someone was in store and they were looking at our collaboration American Cancer Society, which we do every year, and then the lady, I think the guest, started tearing up, and then Daisy started talking to her and offered her a shirt for free and she's like, "Can I give you a hug?" And like that was impactful for that lady's life, and that's what like we're all about. Like it's not about selling the t-shirts and hats. Sure, we need to sell a lot of those, but like we want to create experiences. So I think that's a big part of like who we are and why we have the reputation we have is because we actually care about people when they come to the store. It's not a transaction. But yeah, retail is freaking hard. Like you got to give people a reason to get off their butt to come into your store. Like what for? Like so if you're not in a high traffic area, what are you doing? Not discretionary income purchases like t-shirts you don't need every day. So like how can you add value? What can you do differently? It is very challenging because even designs you think are dope and beautiful and you think it's gonna be a home run, it's a bust, it's very humbling all the time. You're still trying to figure out what's gonna be successful every time. Yeah.
And so in your guys' stores, you guys have like all kinds of like I think magnets and just everything, hats, shirts, like all kinds of little things, right?
Yeah, and that's one thing we've gotten a lot better at, just expanding our collection. T-shirts and hats are bread and butter, but we just launched like a leather collection, tote bags, wallets, just really stepping up our quality. We have magnets, we have pins, we got stickers. People go crazy for stickers, decals. So a lot of things, just knowing what our audience wants.
Yeah, he's showing it right now on the screen. I can see it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, it's
posters.
It's super nice stuff.
Yeah. No, thank you. And it's fun, like when you reflect of like when we were pressing shirts out of our spare bedroom the first couple of years, and even I'm like our hats, like we're going to up our hat quality this year and work and get better sourcing and things. So that's my favorite part is just improving every day. My guy from Bad Birdie, I still try to use this quote every day in life is like, do your best and forget the rest. And that's really all you can do. You got to take it one day at a time because your checklist is probably very long, just like everyone else's, right? But if you can get overwhelmed by not, just doing one at a time. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think though too, like we have to, with you is you found the passion and you're going after it, and I think you have and you're figuring out what it is you want to conquer, and I think that's the challenge for some people is, what is it that you really want to conquer? What's that big goal? What's that first big goal? Then the second big goal? Then what's that fifth big goal?
Yeah.
I follow a guy, Patrick Bet-David. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No, I haven't.
PBD. And so he put a post out and he said, I sent this to my kids. So let's see. Pop.
Is it a podcast?
He does a podcast, but basically,
social?
Yeah. So basically he said, when your Goliath appears, rise to the challenge.
Yeah.
And so we have to figure out kind of like what our Goliath is. And like for you, it's like going to that next level. Like you have to see that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So sometimes it's like, okay, this guy got me fired. That's kind of my Goliath. I got to take his position, whatever.
Yeah.
And yours is like, my Goliath is, I need to go and get 4 more stores, and I gotta fight for that.
Yeah, and I consider myself a visionary. That's kind of where I love marketing. I love the dreaming big, and it's just so cool. It's like actually seeing all these things come into reality. Like 5 years ago, I was like a dream to have a state 48 license plate. Now we do, right? Yeah. And that was a beast to figure out and get. Just even having the stores and our ultimate goal is just. I want everyone in Arizona to know who State 48 is and it to be super clear, and I want people to always be known. I want to be known for more than selling t-shirts and hats. And that's who our diehards in our community do know that, right? Yeah. So it's just, and that's what's cool is like and that's what's tough, like the hard part about marketing, right? Like you don't have the opportunity to talk to everyone. And that's why we try to show more videos and more personality. And I love to do that because like, like that people like get to know Stay 48. They know we're good people. Oh, that's my guy. That's my girl. You know, like, and that's the best part is just like people just see the logos, t-shirts, our attention spans are 2 seconds, you know, and it's like, you just think of it, maybe if you're new and rightfully so, it's just another, you know, brand or t-shirt. But like, I just, that's where I always want to separate ourselves is like, wow, like they really care, you know?
No, it's cool. What, so like in the past, what have been some of your biggest collaborations? What companies have you worked for, just massive ones?
Yeah. I mean, the first, so I'll always give major props to Bruce Arians, the former Cardinals head coach. Like that was who really believed in us first. That was really what created collaborations, what it is today. And they're still like family today. So we created a shirt and the Cardinals had a lot of success. It became like that Cardinals tee. We were raising money for their foundation, which were helping neglected children with a bad upbringing. So they're amazing humans. And then then we became corporate partners with Diamondbacks and we started working with the Suns and then, you know, Dignity Health and Phoenix Children's Hospital is a great partner of ours. And it's just a blessing to be able to like, you know, whether it's a sports team or, you know, idolizing these teams and businesses like growing up and like, wow, you want to be a part of, I mean, Intel, Gila River is a huge partner. So it's like, we've worked with over 1,000 organizations in the Valley and like on those collaborations, just a minimum order of 50 shirts. So like it's an elementary, it's a nonprofit, it's a sports team. That's what's so cool. And like the fact that they want us to be a part of their organization, that's the most rewarding part. So those are a few, but I'm not to be cliche or BS anyone, but like I do value every single partner that we have.
Well, yeah, you want to do it the best. You're representing them, they're representing you. Like, that's
I don't take that lightly. Like you're spending your hard-earned personal or marketing dollars with Stay 48, and then we do love to add value, right? We believe in it because I mean, with that set pricing, you're getting design time. It's a special design. We'll help market it. We're not just like, hey, see you never. Yeah. Like we want to try to always add as much as value as possible. You know, it's a good quality shirt. And that's what our customers know, that whether they're selling them for, you know, use them for fundraisers or marketing gifts or assets or whatever, it's adding value because it allows to share a story, right?
Yeah,
like it's like the best organizations in the Valley, but maybe I don't want a Matthews Crossing Food Bank t-shirt, or I don't, like, you could be the great best doing amazing things, but then you make a fun design with it and put Stay 48 around. And then it's like, I know we're learning, like people are learning about our business from these collaborations, and we're helping add value to them. Cause now it's like a shirt that you rock all the time. And then it's like, whether you're in the airport or you're at Home Depot, you're like, oh, like, and then you create conversations. Like it is definitely like a head nod, like starter, you know, conversation starter, whether you're out of town or just in the Valley, and it's like, all right, that's my person.
Well, yeah, because you see the logo inside of the state, and it's like, well, what's that? You know, like, yeah, I've seen all kinds of them now. That like I've been looking at them. I'm like, man, they've worked with everybody.
It's not everyone, but yeah, no,
a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it's so cool, and that's where even tough on the creative team, the design side. Early on, it was just like. So it become redundant, right? Like, and that's what people from the outside, I don't know who we are. Like, why you just put your main logo? Well, it's like, it's our Nike. Not comparing ourselves to Nike, but that's our Nike sign, right?
I think it's cool. I mean, like
we just know who.
Which one's that one? Is that the Suns?
Oh, so yeah, that's like our
just
own
Phoenix graffiti.
That's
like
our
Phoenix
own
graffiti,
Suns
right?
inspired.
Yeah.
So Drea on our team created that, and you know, so we'll post a lot of our collaborations, like even the one Chloe's wearing, it's with OGs. It's a great partner. You know, like that we just, our stuff that we sell, we also incorporate a lot of different, like, you know, landmarks or sports or stuff, because we just know our main logo sells the most. And then collaborations always incorporates their branding and their logos and things. So not everything has to be, you know, our logo predominant. It's just we go off the direction of what they want. And
then so what's, like, without giving pricing, what, like if a customer wanted 50 shirts, what are they looking at?
Yeah, 23 a pop. I mean, and it goes down as low as 12.
So $23, what does that get you?
So that includes the design, the t-shirt. I mean, that includes screen printing costs, the t-shirt costs, our design time, and then we help with marketing. So that's the highest. It goes down to 12, you know, depending on how many.
The quantity.
Yep. So, and we just keep that set pricing because we do have to factor in our design time and our marketing help and all that. But it's not a transaction where it's like, here you go, see you never, right? It's like, you know, if we can help at events or whatever, that's what we're all about.
I think because I had asked you, and I had just got, I get like 300-400 shirts made for the company, and I try to change some designs and stuff too, because just like construction, So sometimes I'll do like a Marvel theme or
dope.
Like just different themes or whatever. Put it down the sleeve, put it down the back, put a flag. I've done all kinds of crap.
Well, too. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, I was just gonna say, we offer, we could just screen print your shirts too. Like it doesn't have to have anything to do with State 48.
So are you guys doing your own screen printing as well?
Yeah, we have been. Yeah, so that's where a lot of people. That's what we're constantly educating people on. Like where we say, like we're a one-stop shop. We can create designs for your business outside of State 48. We can do the co-branded. We could screen print.
So you got the full
embroider hats. Yeah, it's all done in Chandler.
Yeah.
So we can get promo products. Like we could do everything, and that's where I'm most excited. Like the B2B. Like obviously outside of the foundation and things, but like if your company needs 500 shirts or 50 shirts or 24 shirts, we can screen print them for you. It doesn't have to do anything with State 48. And that pricing is all custom and much more affordable because we're not creating designs.
You're not doing the design. You got to pay for the designer. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's where we help add value too. It's like we have 4 graphic designers on team. If we can provide that support, if you say you didn't have that or another organization doesn't have a creative team or a designer. So then that's where we collaborate. We'll pitch you designs on the collaboration side. Hey, love it, hate it, tweak it. And that's where it becomes like a collaboration.
Yeah. So $23. Is that front and back, front only, one side, two sides?
Doesn't matter. It could be both.
For $23, you can,
and that's the custom co-branded design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
if you ordered 50 shirts.
Maybe I should do it for the podcast because I want to give gifts.
Yeah.
I've been giving like extreme gear.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want your stuff.
Yeah.
I got cool stuff, but I would like it like separate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something motivation on it or something like that.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And if you already, again, if you have a design yourself, like we can help with that and doesn't have anything to do with State 48 either. And that could save a lot more money too.
And you're saying a buck goes to the nonprofit, which you're helping leaders and achievers.
Yeah. So that's the last 3 years we had $1 per shirt go back to State 48 Foundation.
Yeah. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, as you were getting in this, who are some of the people that were really super influential to you? Because I know it's gotten hard and there's different levels, like someone way long, when you're younger, someone maybe last year or something.
Yeah.
Like, can you tell some of those stories?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And I would say I wish I would have invested into my development, my personal professional development a lot early on. Because again, I'll bring up my Vistage CEO coaching group. Like that's been tremendous support for me. And I'm like at a point in my life too, the last couple of years too, where I need to be around people that inspire me. And it's no anything negative to, former friends that maybe we just don't have time to hang out, but like I have little time, right? So I want to be around people that we're talking business. I can get better. Like we were talking earlier, like I'm a competitor, like, man, I'm inspired by what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So I give a lot of, like kudos to my group just because like we'll tell it how it is. Like it was like hard at the beginning too. I remember even, my guy, Mike, it was like my second meeting and he's like, man, I'm so excited learning about my business. And I'm like, telling him all about all my exciting things coming up. And he's like, you need to get your shit together on the operations. And I was like, I know that, but like, I needed to hear that. Now I don't want to let my team down. Right. So that's been a huge help, but just, so many other people in my life, whether it's, Scott Harkey from OH, he's been huge on just the marketing side and be able to bounce off ideas. And of course, really everyone in my life, personally, professionally, it's like, but I would say that what really sticks out to me is this last, year and a half of like really investing because it's not cheap, as in masterminds and things like, but it's worth every single penny, to be around people that are doing it maybe on a much higher scale or just like realizing like, oh, this is what you should, it's just genuinely just helping each other win.
No, it is and people think you have to be in a certain type of industry mastermind. I mean, like, if you're doing real estate, you want to get in that, but leaders and achievers, like I just started a new one with the guy Patrick David that I follow. So I think there's 150 people in this one mastermind, and they were showing stuff like I was like, man, that's so cool, and this information can cross over. Maybe it's only one piece you take, but it's like game changer stuff.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the cool thing about our group is like we don't have. Everyone's in different industries, right? Yeah. So like you learn so much, but you also realize it's all the same stuff. And that's where it's like
everyone has the same struggles and they're getting beat up or they're winning or whatever it is.
Or you're in the construction field that's like dealing with, trying to find good people or like everyone has their own challenges, whether it's a marketing company or payroll, nonprofit, like it's all the same stuff. And it's like but it allows everyone to bring value. Like where I've been able to bring value into the group is the marketing side and the being, the storytelling, even
creative.
Mike will even say, he's come a long way. He's kind of the old school, didn't want to ever do anything on social media or a lot of times too, people don't think their business is like sexy enough or to show behind the scenes. And like, people love that. People want to get to know who, and then like, if you're having a hard time like finding people and hiring people, show your culture, show the people that are why they're there. Right.
Yeah,
and like, that's what's going to attract people. Like if you're going to keep just looking on Indeed and you're getting the same stuff that's not working out, do something different. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, show more, interviews with your team, understand why they want to be there. And then that's what, if I'm looking on your LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, that's a vibe. That's cool. Like, so
you have to show what you're doing. Like no one's going to know who you or I am unless we show ourselves.
Yeah.
And what's funny is you were saying sexy. And so we've interviewed a couple people, right? Probably our guest that almost got the most views was a guy who does detailing, a local kid.
Yeah. Dope.
Just detailing.
Yeah.
Like every detailer in the world was following this guy.
Yeah.
And then I'll go on and I'll see Instagram. Then you got these landscapers that are like, 10,000 views and, 10,000. I'm like, more than me.
Yeah.
And you would think, oh, it's just landscaping, but because they're showing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they're showing who themselves are. Like, and so that's one thing I've always done. But the podcasting thing's new for me because I'm showing me.
Yeah.
I've always said, here's our company, here's what we do type thing. Now it's like, here's who I am.
Well, I'll say too, I mean, people love like seeing the screen printing the side of things, right? You take that kind of stuff for granted, and that's not my background. I don't like, I can't operate a press, but like when we host students or things, and they're like in awe of just seeing like shirts getting printed. And I still am too. So like, you're never going to know, like, or even like a graphic designer showing like the behind the scenes of like a time lapse of creating design, like that's visually appealing, right? So yeah, it's like people get wrapped around, I only do this. Like, no, you should be proud of everything. You're doing this for a reason, right? So show more of that. And I think people just love getting to know the people. And I also know that the facts say that like 80% of people that can resonate with like a CEO's beliefs or like their purpose or like the company's mission, they're actually going to more likely, like the numbers are crazy, that they'll more likely going to rock with you or support you, right? Yep. So it's like, it is important for people to, showcase themselves and personal branding and all that. Like you're driving a company, no matter what position, you're helping contribute to the success of a company. Yes, people want to see that more. Our most engaged videos and content is like about the team, like fun, cool videos that have nothing to do with trying to put products down your throat. So.
Yeah, I think some people still still have that fear in them to show who they are, what they're doing, is because now you're held to a different standard.
Well, and like people are always worried, not always, I don't like put everyone in a bubble, but like it's got to be all polished and like produced. Like, I even did yesterday, I still manage our social. I love that part of things, but I went through all of some Arizona history and the 10 photos. Like I have a lot to showcase, but like I showcased 10, like even Fiesta Mall, Metro Center, even like some old restaurants, and like people were going nuts, like Miller's Outpost back in the day of shopping, and like everyone just like wants to have like a feeling, right? Like some type of engagement with your. So anyway, something like that has nothing to do with like our selling anything. Like putting that out there, it just brought it like
it's engagement,
crazy
like
engagement.
It's engagement.
It's just like fun. It's relative to who we are. We're in Arizona.
Yeah, you're in Arizona. Yeah, I love that. I mean, letting people know who we are. More people got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, my wife runs our church. We're partners in a business. So we do everything together. But I'm like, I got to get you on camera. She's like super beautiful.
Yeah.
But she don't want to get on the camera. So I think soon we'll do a podcast together.
And there's a lot, and that's fine. Like if you're not comfortable, whatever, but like there's still like kind of organic ways to still showcase behind the scenes. Maybe her not having to talk, but like, just with maybe not her knowing, even like getting some
we post
footage
pictures. Well, sometimes I'll post inspiration type pictures with her with me.
Okay.
Just to get her out there. Cause I'm trying to push her to do something. Cause I think she'll get, it's just who like we can't help people grow. Some people don't even know what they want.
Yep.
Or some people don't know that what they're going through, someone else already went through.
Well, you're not going to grow unless you're uncomfortable too. That's really stood out to me. And like, it's scary and it's hard and it's challenging, but like when you get through that, it's like, oh, that's cake now. What's the next, right? We were talking earlier, like what's Goliath, right? And it's like, you do have to get uncomfortable to grow. Like you can't do the same things that are like, yeah, it's scary, or speaking, publicly, or, investing in just improving your education or whatever it is. Like, yeah, you got to get uncomfortable to grow.
I totally agree.
How is it working? Let me ask you a question. How is it working with your wife or family?
Man, you know what? I love my wife. It's my wife.
How do you even separate it?
You can't.
Yeah.
For me, probably some people lie when they're like, you watch these videos and stuff. They're just full of crap.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard because one is when you got like when you're working. I've seen this with other couples as well. You both become passionate about something, even if one loves what they do and the other one doesn't love it. But then now you're doing it together, so it becomes a passion. And then now you're like, oh, we got to pay the bills. Oh, we got to make more money. Now it's together, right? And then so what happens is you will battle, right? Because then now it's like my way, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. You're right, I'm wrong. Whatever, right? And then we have our two oldest children are involved full time, and one goes to GCU. She's gonna graduate. Actually.
Oh wow, yeah.
She'll graduate in 2 months, or no, sorry, in May. But it's like rewarding, because at the end of the day, I can tell my wife Felicity, I can say like, I need your help.
Yeah.
And she's gonna do it. Or she can, at the end of the day, she can say, I need your help, Chris. Like, whatever, right? And I'm gonna do it.
Well, the positive side, the benefit of having a significant other or, family or friends, you're not going to let each other down. Right. But it's hard. Like, I've even starting business with my childhood, friend, and then bringing in his brother, and they were best friends. And then we all would butt heads all the time. Yeah. And, but at the end of the day, you always going to work your butt off for them or your wife or your husband or whatever it might be. Right. But to have those real honest conversations is very challenging sometimes because you love and appreciate them. But also, like in your case, I'm just always curious of like how people separate it, because like if you're only just talking about work, that could get draining and it could really take away your personal side.
And that happens. Yeah. That happens with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's happened with us, and we have to work on not doing that.
Because you gotta have that.
Again, we're now we're taking the problems from work home. And then vice versa, and then the problems from home go to work.
Yeah, and that's where.
So it's like, okay, let's So sometimes we'll like, my wife, she'll be more so than me.
Yeah.
Like, can we talk about something else?
Yeah.
Can we or I'll be like, I'm not gonna work today. I'm done. So
yeah. Well, kudos to you.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Trying to do it.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine.
But I've had my brother-in-law. People have known that I've had to fire, that didn't work out, but my kids, and I want them. I'm just trying to teach them to like gain some experience and knowledge, and just like repetition, coming to work, going there, just and
that's the hardest part, man. Like I love everyone that currently works with us, that has worked with us. Like everyone has had some type of tie to State 48, and it's brought on a lot of homies at the beginning that really believe and that also aren't getting paid what they're worth, until you could really build up the resources. But at the end of the day, some business is business. And if it's not working out on both sides, right? Like,
yeah, it's gotta make sense.
Sucks. Like, I mean, you lose friends, and it's like, so then you kind of say, do you just stay away from that? But I mean, there's cases, obviously it works out, but it's like, I don't want to lose friends over business, but like, you just have to know going into that. And I also a big believer, like, no, if you have to go separate ways from someone, it should not be a surprise, and you should be able to have lunch in a couple of weeks. And I take a lot of pride in that.
But that's hard though, because like we've had separations with different people, and they've hated us, and it's not even our fault, but that's just the feeling,
Yeah.
But I think setting the boundaries up front, with any kind of relationship, you set those boundaries, and sometimes I'll help people, and I'll say, hey, listen, if you don't do your job, just know that I will terminate you.
Yeah.
This is not any, don't think I'm coming after you. Don't think someone else is coming after you. You know the job you have to do, and that's the expectation. Nothing more, nothing less. If you want to do more, that's good for you.
Yeah, and I respect that. And that's one thing I'm proud of my growth, and still have a long way to go. Just the communication and just being very upfront. Early on, you could be a little timid or like, beat around the bush, and it's just like, hey, I love you, and I believe in you and you're here for a reason, but also like, if you don't do this, like we got to go, you know, it's like, and I always take full responsibility. Hey, I didn't obviously do enough to, you know, set you up for success. Right.
Yeah.
I'm a big, like, hey, it's ultimately all on me, whether it's right or wrong. Right. But like I have got much better, and it like just brings more peace, and like, you just put it all out there in a respectful way. It's like, hey, and it's just how you present it. And that's where I've presented things the wrong way for a long time, because you just like, you want to like quickly like say something, or like whether you're not fully developing your thoughts. So I've gotten better at just like, all right, let me take a step back. Let me gather my thoughts. Let me ask more questions. But yeah, you can easily just be like, oh, this bothers me. You say some, you know, right away. And then that person's like, that person's pissed off and you didn't really mean it right. So communication is everything.
Yeah. Well, lack of communication breeds false imagination. You know, the other person, if you're not communicating, the other person's going to think crazy thoughts.
Oh yeah.
Or vice versa. You know what I mean? And I think like you cannot leave no stone unturned, you know, so especially when we hire, it's different hiring processes depending on the position. But when you get into the office type position, you know, we have, it's written out. You know, these are the expectations. These are the roles. This is, you know, you're going to do X, Y, and Z.
And that's important.
Yeah,
a lot of small business.
It's clearly written out.
We're just still honing in on our job descriptions, because it's not fair to the team member if you're not giving clear expectations, right?
Yeah. Take the time and write those expectations down, like the roles, whatever it is. Like you're doing this, this, and this. And then if you're caught up, I need you to help with in this whatever this, you know, industry or whatever.
And then it's black and white. It's like, hey, we already went over this. You agreed to this, right? And one thing someone told me recently is like making it more of an agreement rather than like an expectation. Like, hey, we're on the same page, right? You agree? Moving to the next meeting, you agree to this, right? So they've agreed to these terms. Okay, then why aren't you doing it, right? And then it just makes the conversation less emotional.
That's exactly what it is. I'll make them sign it. Like, are we in agreement? This is okay. This, and I also, especially office, I also put the pay.
Yeah.
Hey, these are your days. This is the expectations. Are we in agreement? You're good. And then so if we had to have the conversation, like we had a meeting about this, and you agreed on this, and now you're coming back on your word. Like,
but then you could probably relate too. That's like constantly ongoing outside of just the initial hire, right? Even just having like check-ins and one-on-ones, and like, hey, even this task, right? We're on the same page, right? So you agree this next meeting that's going to be done. So it's just, it's communication. That's a skill set. And then also being the leader too. You got to know everyone's love languages. You got to know how they operate, right? Like you might want a hard-on conversation. You might have to like kind of give them a lot of love first, and then you know that's
you got a hard approach. You got a hard approach, soft approach, depending on the personality. But leaving like setting those expectations, and like you said, is like coming into agreement. Then that sets those boundaries and those parameters, and it's good for the team too, because sometimes what happens is there's some people that you will hire. I've done this in the past. Is say I've hired them, and I didn't set the boundaries up correctly, and they don't even know where they fit in. Yeah, they don't know if they're doing enough, not enough. They're unaware. Their confidence goes down because now they think they're not performing. You know what I mean? Yep. And so when you give them these goals and these things, and then if we can have them report back, right? So what I do here is I have weekly reports printed for me. So, you know, I have like a P&L weekly, how much money is deposited weekly. P&L for every project, besides the whole company, every single project. Nice. You know, what's checked in, what's checked out. All the reports are put on my desk on Mondays. That way I can get an overview of what's going on. And so that team member, there's an expectation on them. I need this. Yeah. This is why. And the more transparency and information you can provide your team, then they have more buy-in and they're more engaged, and they're like, you know, I'm big on like, obviously you can't provide all that information, but like, hey, we lost money last year. You guys need to know that, because we just need to improve. And that's ultimately, that's on me, right? But like being transparent of like, hey, but we've done great here. You're a part of that success, right? Yeah. So just making sure people know that and that's what I love about, you know, again, we far from perfect, and I want to continue to improve every day, and our team wants to do the same. But we do have I really believe in culture and like working with people you like and you trust, and I do love and appreciate all that. But it's just like everyone is kind of bought in and becoming more educated of like how the business operates, and this is why I am maybe being an ass, right? Like
I want you to design based off, use your great skill set to, cater to our audience, not this audience, because that's where we're maybe missing the boat or something.
Yeah. So say someone, they're watching this and they want to get started. Whether it's, I love marketing, by the way. I wanted to get my own press, automated one.
Yeah.
But say they want to get started. What's some like a piece of advice you'd give that that young person or older person, whatever it is, that's new to the industry, or maybe they work for someone? I mean, what would it be a good one or two piece of advice?
I'll rattle off a couple. Again, I mentioned earlier, like, you better be passionate about it, and really understand what problem are you solving. Because if you're start even ideating on something, like, is there a million other organizations, and maybe there still is, and there's still enough to go around, but really having that honest conversation, like, what separates you from someone else, be just really being honest with yourself, that knowing that you're going to have to sacrifice a lot. The reward is worth it, in my opinion. Like, seeing a State 48 shirt in public or on a car now, or a decal, like, it's the best feeling ever, or being able to help make an impact. So really understand, like, your why behind something. And then one thing that we fail on, which again, I could probably provide advice all day, but I'll leave it on this, is like, if you have partners, really being clear and define your roles. Like you just talked about how you're defining expectations for your team, but like, my partners and I, we wasted so much time not having defined roles. And again, we didn't know what we didn't know. So like, we were all like having arguments about, what we're going to post on social. And it's like that slows down the business, right? Having an operating agreement, getting your trademark, having your legal stuff all taken care of. Like that's the smartest thing we ever did. That was the first thing we did, was spend the $1,500 on a trademark. And that took almost a year at that time. And if we didn't do that, someone could easily. Now,
is that that's a federal trademark, right?
Yeah. So we have our logo, and then our word mark, State 48, and then the apparel space, right? So that was the smartest thing we ever did. But yeah, just getting your legal stuff taken care of. And another I'll say is that, like, we didn't invest proper, money and time into like accounting principles and really people. I was managing the books for years, and that's not my background. And like, having that early on of even setting up your P&Ls correctly, knowing your real profits, like, because that balance sheet. Yeah, like, it could tell a completely different story, and in early entrepreneurs, you're going to get stuck in like, how much money is in your bank, right?
You think you're making money, and when you look at it, it's like, holy crap.
I've learned that firsthand. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it, because it's like, oh, we got money, but like, you really need to be being strategic of like, all right, how much time do I have with this money, right? Or like, what's coming out, and like, having accurate, up-to-date P&Ls. Like, we failed there of not investing more on the accounting and that side of things early on.
Yeah. I mean, that's great advice, man. And, to everyone watching, is
like the non-sexy things,
Yeah. And those are the things people don't want to do because they're not sexy, because they're harder, because you don't know them, right? But it's like simple things. And, if you don't know it, get help. And
to that, you nailed it. Like, don't be too stubborn to ask for help. Yeah. Early on in life, and as in business, like, I did struggle with that. I'm like, I'll figure it out. But like, there's so many people, especially in Arizona, and especially on our foundation or whatever, that want to help people, right? So just put it out there. Like, now there's so many resources, but don't try to do it on your own, because you need people around you. Yeah,
there's people that message me on LinkedIn from all over the country that ask me like advice.
Shoot your shot. You're never gonna know if.
Yeah, I'll tell them what I know. I can't tell them what I don't know.
Yeah.
But if I know, I'm like, hey, let's talk.
And when you say, trying to find a way to be smarter about saying no and stuff, I'm still gonna be. Someone reaches out randomly and asks me for advice, like, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week, but there's plenty of times I'm like, give me a call and I'll talk through it.
Yeah.
And that could be very time consuming, but I'm like, I could relate. And I always remember a couple people early on that would give me that type of advice where I felt guilty even asking, but like, shoot your shot for sure.
Shoot your shot. You never know. I mean, the one piece of advice can change your whole world.
And even having that right mentor, like, you really need that. And yeah, definitely don't be too proud to ask for help.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you for your time, man. This has been great. Like, getting to know you, know more about the company, the future goals, opening more stores.
Yep.
So everybody watching out there, invest in yourself, pick up some State 48 swag.
Thank you.
You know, they're all
that.
over the valley. Do some collab stuff, you know, and let's help support your business, because you're helping support other people's businesses.
I appreciate that.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about sowing seeds, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, people want to work with who they like and you trust. So
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Everyone watching, be blessed.